everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a foundation routine. Now this is updated from the last time I did a foundation routine because that was a little while ago and I don't really use any of those products that much anymore, and I really wanted to show you some of the products that I've seriously been loving because they keep me matte all day, because I personally like a matte foundation look on my face rather than like dewy because I have oily skin. And just these products have been keeping me very matte throughout the whole day at school, and then also right after school I have a sport, so it keeps me matte when I'm sweating, and I really just love some of these products that I want to show you. And also the second thing I want to say is don't mind my hair because it's looking really, really gross. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, but this is not a hair video. This is just focusing on my makeup. So yeah, don't mind it, and yeah, so let's just get started. So the very first step to my foundation routine is using primers, and these are two of the greatest primers that I've ever tried to keep me matte. This is the #1 essential step. I really don't think I'd be matte without these two products. I use them together. They're just sample sizes because I've had these for actually like a couple weeks now, which is super long for a little tiny sample like this, and I'm going to end up going back and buying the fuller size of these. And the first primer that I use is POREfessional by Benefit. When I do this, I just start by putting a little bit on my fingers, and then I usually will take 1 or 2 fingers and first just pat this in, because I find when I pat it in, it really sinks into my pores and just minimizes them. A little bit more, and run it down the bridge of my nose. And then when I'm running it on the bridge of my nose, I'll usually just kind of rub it in. And then I take a little bit more, like I said, and then I just take a couple fingers and I'll pat it into my skin. So now that that's done, I next use the Lorac Pore-Effecting Mattifying Face Primer. This is like kind of a serum type thing or a gel, and I take just a little bit and I put this on my forehead, and then I put it on my cheeks, and that's about it. I really don't focus it anywhere else. Sometimes I'll put a little bit on my chin, but I don't really need to right now. And I will just rub this in with my hands. And what I love about these primers is that they don't even feel like anything is going on my skin. It just makes my skin feel very silky and smooth, and it just helps my foundation glide right on, and it helps it blend a lot better. And that's just what I literally love about both of these primers. So next thing I do is I use my foundation, and the foundation that I love, it's my Holy Grail foundation. I've been using it for a while now. It's the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. I am in the shade 805, which is their lightest shade, I believe. It's in Ivory. And I just take about a pump and then a pump and a half. And that's usually the perfect amount for me. Sometimes I'll go in and add a little bit more. And then I take my Beauty Blender. This is what I use all the time. I'm on my second one. I love the Beauty Blender. I have to say this is a pricey product though, but you will rarely ever see me use a foundation brush to apply my foundation, just because I love the way that this feels and love the way that it blends out. So I'm just going to, I usually start on my forehead and start blending it all over my face. So even though that is a full coverage foundation, I will still go in with a concealer to conceal my under eye circles because they're usually very, very bad. Today they're not that bad, but I'm going to be using the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Concealer. This is in the shade 205, which is very light. It's a moisturizer and also a concealer built into one. It's very creamy. It kind of reminds me of Benefit's Erase Paste, but it's not as thick, so it's very moisturizing underneath my eyes. But I also wanted to show you the other concealer that I will use, like just basically whatever I'm feeling like. The other one I'll use is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I've talked about this a lot. I've had this for a very long time and I still have a lot left. So this one's a wand, and the other one I have to use my finger. So like I said, I'm going to be using the CoverGirl and Olay one, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this. I don't need that much, and then I'll usually just blend most of it out with my finger because I find that is the best way in that it doesn't crease, and I really, really like this concealer. Even though I don't need to, I will still take my Beauty Blender and I will just blend under the concealer I just put on just to make it even more seamless and just really perfect it, because I'm really like OCD about blending out my concealer and foundation like perfectly. So once I'm done with my concealer and foundation, I will take my NYX HD Studio Photogenic High Definition Powder. And this is just their translucent one because that's the only one that this comes in. And I've been using this one lately so far. I really do like this. And then I'll set my under eyes first. I'll use the Real Techniques contouring brush. It's not that good for what I want to use it for, but I haven't found like another one to use instead of this one. And just tap off the excess, and I will just pat underneath my eyes and just set that. I think it stays in place all day when I use this. Then I take a little bit more of this powder and put it into the cap, and I use the e.l.f. powder brush. I love this brush. I think it works very nice. And I'll take some, and then I'll start on the sides of my cheek and just set my whole entire face with this powder. After I apply my powder and set my whole entire face, I will go in with a bronzer, and I brought two over to show you the ones that I normally use. But today I'm going to be using the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is the light medium. It's a matte bronzer, so it works really nice for my skin tone and also smells just like chocolate. So I use this to warm my face. I will show you more on how I use it in just a minute. The other one I will use is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer in Sunny. This one is definitely the more inexpensive one. It really just depends what I'm in the mood for. They're very, very similar in the colors. I think that this one might be just a slight bit darker. So the brush that I use to contour with is the Essence powder brush, and I think this works very, very good for what I use it for. So I'll just take a little bit and contour my cheeks, and if you don't know how to do that, you just kind of suck in like a fish face and you'll see the little line, and I contour right from the very start to make it look like I have better cheekbones than I really do. I'll also put some down the bridge of my nose, and I'll also apply some to my temples, and then my forehead to warm up my face and make me look just a little bit darker, and this is very natural. So then I use blush next, and I brought out 3 to show you the ones that, or actually 4, the ones that I use the most often out of my collection. I like to use Benetint if I want, like I use that mostly on school days to stay longer. Or I'll use like my Sephora one. This is in Sun Baked. The other one I'll use is out of the e.l.f. Contouring and Blush palette. I'll use the blush. It's very light shimmery pink color. But the one I'm going to be using today is the e.l.f. Single Blush in Mellow Mauve. It's just a very nice, pretty mauve color. I think it works very nice. And then I've been obsessed with this e.l.f. Bronzing brush. It's just like an angled brush, and I'll just take a little bit of it and apply this to the apples of my cheeks. And I feel like blush is very important in my makeup because it just gives me a nice glowy look to my face and just adds a little bit of color. And lately I've really been obsessed with using a highlighter. So I use the e.l.f. Golden Bronzer. It's got like 4 different colors that you can use, which are very, very pretty. But the one I use to highlight is this one right here. It's the lightest shade. It has some shimmer to it, and I'll use the same brush for it by e.l.f. and I'll take just a little bit. I have to be careful because I don't want it to look too overpowering, and then I'll just add some right on like my temples and stuff. I feel like this just doesn't make my face look as dull as it is. I'll take a little bit down the bridge of my nose, and then a little bit also on the center of my forehead usually. And then I'll just take a little bit and apply this to my Cupid's bow. So that is basically it for my foundation, powder, and like bronzer, blush, everything that I really do to my face. Now I'm just going to show you really quickly what I'll do to my eyebrows. I do this every single day. I just brush my eyebrows with a spoolie to kind of shape them the way that I want them. Then I take the Anastasia, I think that's how you say it, Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. I love this stuff. It works so good. And then I'll just run it through, like still kind of keeping the shape I want my eyebrows in. I've been filling in my eyebrows like lately at all. So this is definitely just my go-to eyebrow product. So that is it, you guys. That is all I do for my foundation and everything like that. Also showed you what I do for my eyebrows. But one more thing I wanted to quickly tell you guys about is I do use the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray. This is a mini size because I wanted to try and see if I like it, which I do. This is something I add when I'm finished like completely with my makeup. So I'm not going to show you guys me spraying it because I am going to go ahead and finish my eye makeup off camera because this helps keep that on all day as well. I don't really know why I keep it in the box, but I absolutely love this. So this is the one for oily skin because it is the De-Slick Setting Spray. So if you're looking for one of the ones from Urban Decay, because they do have quite a few options, and you have oily skin, definitely go for the De-Slick because I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and keep in mind this is not like a tutorial. I'm not teaching you guys how to put on makeup. I'm just showing you what I do every single day. Products that I showed and used in this video are my Holy Grail products, and I love them so much. I also showed you the options that I do alternate, like I said, you know, I'll alternate like the blush I used today for the Sephora blush or something, but the primers and foundation and also the setting spray, those are my staples. I use them every single day, and this is a makeup look I will do every single day for school. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!